Have you ever looked at the financial markets and felt like you missed the boat? Bitcoin, Tesla, Nvidia, the list goes on. It seems like every day there's a news story about someone who got in early and made a fortune. Well, what if I told you there might be another massive opportunity brewing? One that most people are completely overlooking. It's not some new crypto coin or a hot tech stock. It's one of the oldest forms of money in human history, silver. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Silver, isn't that just for jewelry and old coins? Boring? But stick with me, because the story of silver right now is anything but boring. In fact, some analysts are predicting a price explosion that could make the recent gold rush look like a warm-up, and the key year they're all pointing to, 2026. Today we're going to dive deep into why silver might just be the most undervalued asset on the planet and explore the explosive potential hiding in plain sight. To understand where silver is going, we first have to understand where it is right now. For years, silver has been trading in the shadow of its more glamorous sibling, gold. We talk about the gold standard, central banks hoarding gold, but silver often gets left out of the conversation. Now, this has led to a fascinating situation known as the gold-to-silver ratio. Simply put, this ratio tells you how many ounces of silver it takes to buy 1 ounce of gold. Historically, for centuries, this ratio hovered around 15 to 1. Think about that. 15 ounces of silver for 1 ounce of gold. But today, that ratio is closer to 80 or 90 to 1. This means relative to gold, silver is incredibly cheap. It's like finding a brand name product on a clearance rack for 80% off its usual price compared to its main competitor. So why is this happening? A big part of it is perception. Gold is seen purely as a monetary metal, a safe haven. Silver, on the other hand, has a dual personality. It's part monetary metal and part industrial metal. And it's this industrial side that's about to light a fire under the silver price. Let's talk about the demand side of the equation, because this is where things get really exciting. Silver is not just a pretty metal, it's a critical component in some of the fastest growing technologies on Earth. I'm talking about the green energy revolution. Take solar panels, for instance. Silver paste is an essential ingredient used to conduct electricity within photovoltaic cells. As the world scrambles to switch to renewable energy, the demand for solar panels is skyrocketing. The International Energy Agency projects that solar power capacity needs to grow massively over the next decade to meet climate goals. More solar panels mean more silver. It's a direct and unavoidable link. And here's the kicker. There's currently no viable, cost-effective substitute for silver in this application. But it doesn't stop with solar. Think about electric vehicles, or EVs. Every single EV that rolls off the production line contains silver. It's used in everything from the battery management systems to the heated windshields and the countless electrical connections. As governments around the world mandate a shift away from gasoline cars, the number of EVs on the road is set to explode. Again, more EVs, more silver demand, and then there's 5G technology. The rollout of 5G requires a massive infrastructure build-out, with new towers and devices all packed with advanced electronics. And what's a key component in those electronics due to its unmatched conductivity? You guessed it, silver. So we have this trifecta of massive, unstoppable trends: solar, EVs, and 5G all converging and all desperately needing more silver. This isn't speculative demand. It's baked in. Industrial. Have to have it demand. This is a fundamental shift in the silver market that we haven't seen in our lifetimes. So, demand is set to go parabolic. What about the supply? Can't the miners just dig up more? Well, it's not that simple. It's the other half of our perfect storm. For the last few years, the silver market has been in a structural deficit. That's a fancy way of saying we are using more silver than we are mining. Think of it like your bank account. If you spend more than you earn every month, eventually your savings run out. That's what's happening with the world's silver stockpiles. Major stockpiles like those in the London Bullion Market Association and the COMEX exchange have been steadily decreasing. Why can't miners just ramp up production? A few reasons. First, most silver isn't mined directly. Over 70% of silver is a byproduct of mining for other metals like copper, lead, and zinc. So silver supply is often tied to the demand for these other industrial metals, not necessarily the price of silver itself. Second, it takes a very long time to bring a new mine online. We're talking 10 to 15 years from discovery to actual production. You can't just flip a switch. The low silver prices over the past decade have discouraged investment in exploration and new mine development. The pipeline of new projects is running dry. So we have a situation where industrial demand is being propelled by unstoppable global trends. While the supply is constrained, inelastic, and facing years of underinvestment, when an immovable object of demand meets a stoppable force of supply, what happens to the price? It has to go up. Simple economics. This brings us to the magic number, 2026. Why that year specifically? It's seen as a critical tipping point. By 2026, many of the government mandates for EVs and green energy will be in full swing. The 5G rollout will have reached a new level of maturity. The cumulative effect of years of supply deficits will have dramatically drained the available above-ground stockpiles. Think of it like a dam. For years, the water level has been slowly dropping. By 2026, we might be looking at the bottom of the reservoir. At that point, the industrial users, the Teslas, the solar panel manufacturers, the Samsungs are going to be scrambling for physical silver. It's built. And they won't be buying paper contracts on an exchange. They'll need the actual metal delivered to their factories. This is where the price can go from a steady rise to a vertical explosion. When industrial giants, who need silver to run their multi-billion-dollar businesses, start competing with investors who want silver as a safe haven, it creates a bidding war for a rapidly shrinking supply. This is the scenario that could send the silver price to levels we can't even imagine today. We're not talking about a 10 or 20% gain. We're talking about a potential repricing event that could see silver multiples of its current price. So, how can the average person position themselves for this potential opportunity? It's important to state that this is not financial advice, and you should always do your own research and consult with a professional. But generally, there are a few ways to get exposure to silver. The most direct way is by owning physical silver, like bullion coins or bars. This gives you direct ownership of the asset. You can hold it in your hand. For many, this is the purest play on the silver thesis. Another way is through silver ETFs, or exchange-traded funds, like SLV. These funds track the price of silver and allow you to invest without having to store the physical metal yourself. It's convenient and liquid. Finally, you can invest in silver mining companies. This can be a more leveraged way to play a rise in the silver price. If the price of silver doubles, the profits for a well-run mining company can increase by a much larger factor, often leading to a supercharged return on your investment. However, this also comes with more risk, as you're investing in a specific company, not just the commodity itself. The key takeaway is this: the silver story is no longer a boring tale of an old monetary metal. It's a high-tech story of green energy, electric mobility, and next-generation connectivity. We are witnessing a fundamental collision between soaring, non-negotiable demand and a fragile, dwindling supply. Everyone else is distracted by the latest headlines. The quiet giant of the metals market is starting to stir. The year 2026 is shaping up to be a pivotal moment when this brewing storm could finally hit the shore. It might just be the hidden opportunity that everyone will be talking about in the years to come. Will you be one of the few who saw it coming? Thanks so much for watching. If you found this breakdown insightful, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the markets. I'd love to hear your thoughts on silver in the comments below. You think the explosion is coming? Let's discuss. Till next time, stay curious and invest wisely.